Welcome to the MBU Football Coaches Show. My name is Guy Danhoff. I'm joined with Coach B. Coach, we're now in week 6. I know last week was a tough one for the Spartans. We fell just a little short, 28-21. And as we've talked about literally all week, especially from last week's Coaches Show, from the Coaches Show to what we talked about on Tuesday was really one play, the block punt.
Yeah, you're really violating what my therapist told me to do. They said, don't ever think about that again, and you're violating that. But no, it was definitely a tough way to lose. Came right down to the end, I'll give these guys credit. We had a long team meeting, special teams meeting, just make sure that these things can't happen again. They understand. It was one of those situations where everybody thought somebody else was going to do the job and nobody did the job. And, there's that old story about somebody, nobody, and anybody. And, and that's how that played out. But the good thing, I'll give these guys a lot of credit. They haven't really hung their heads at all. They've bounced back. They've showed up to work every day this week, and it's been good to get back and get back to another game.
Well, that's good. Again, the team we're referring to was St. Francis of Illinois. Now we're traveling to Chicago, my hometown, as you know. And you'll be taking on a team I don't believe we've ever played there before, and that's going to be Roosevelt. They are ranked in the top 25. I'll just kind of recap quickly last year. I believe his name is Kayvon Johnson. Had an amazing day against the Spartans. Rushed for just over 300 yards, but upon further review, it was really mainly on 3 big long breakaways. So kind of address that because let's just face it, we know this team is going to run the ball.
Yeah, Kayvon is a heck of a running back. He's been, up for Player of the Year on the offensive side of the ball in the Mid-States a couple of years running now. He's been a first-team All-League back. Tremendous speed. He's not a really big guy, but he's quick. He's kind of like Lionel Banks in that sense. May have a little more speed just overall, but they're very similar type backs. He's really, really good. Last year when he showed up, we knew we had to stop him. And what was really frustrating going back with the defense watching film is we held him on like 30 carries to less than 90 yards or somewhere in there. And then on 3 or 4 carries, he had these huge runs. One of them, was on a goal line where we were in the game, and then he busted one for 90. So, when you have several big runs like that, you're going to rack up the yardage pretty quick. So just little things that we didn't do right in that game that we've got to get fixed going into this week. What they present some challenges to us in regards to the number of formations that they use, and they don't run a lot of plays. I mean, they run power, they run zone, and they want to run the ball. They've got a couple wide receivers that can make plays, which they did against us last year. And just making sure that we go into this game with a lot of confidence on defense. I think the exciting thing for us is that our front 7 has been playing at a really high level. So for us, we're just trying to keep it simple, make sure that we know how to align to all the different things and there's no holes, and let these guys go play ball.
Well, I can say this from being a former offensive lineman, just the fact that that team's going to run a lot, that does take lots of exertion. I can tell you that. I always prefer that we pass more just because of that. But the point is, on defense, are you going to be switching things out knowing that they're going to be running probably a higher percentage compared to the passing? Where are you keeping your guys fresh?
No, I mean, we'll have to play it by ear. I think we'll rotate some of those guys in there. But this is one of those games where they're going to have to get down. They're going to have to be ready to go and be a physical game. I just talked to my college roommate who spent 9 years in the NFL, and I was like, this is one of those headache games and Advil games like Coach Barnett used to talk about. And that's the type of game it is. You've got to buckle your chin strap, and you know what plays are coming. They, like I said, they use ton of different formations, unbalanced formations, and all that stuff. So making sure that we're really good at recognizing that and that we go play ball. But anytime you play teams like that, what you really got to be aware of is that play action pass, because they get you so heavy into the run. Last year they did a really good job as we substituted personnel. Then they would keep the same guys on the field and spread us out and make us go cover. So I think Coach Williamson does a great job. up there as their head coach, and I think he runs the offense, and he's run this offense for so long. He knows all the adjustments and checks within it. So as soon as it just becomes a really important, detailed cat and mouse game, and kind of the old saying where you start playing chess, not checkers, and that's what makes this game fun.
Well, it is fun. I can just tell you this from last year, from Kevin Paulus and I calling the game. We would see them make that move, and then you're quickly making a move, and it was literally a chess match going on the entire 4 quarters. So, Coach, now let's talk about the Spartans. What are we going to do? Let's start with offense. Is Ashton going to continue to start for us, or are you going to make a change?
No, we'll stick with Ashton.
Okay.
Both of those guys continue to get reps, and I think the thing that we just talked to both of them about is Cooper obviously stay ready, and he's eager, and he's ready. He's doing a great job of mentally knowing what to do, and when he gets his reps in practice, doing a nice job. And I think the thing that we just told Ashton is you got to manage the game. You can't try and win it on your own or whatever. Just manage the game, be himself, don't force things. And we'll see how the game unfolds. But again, that's the nice thing of having 2 quarterbacks ready to go.
Well, let's just face it. Both of them are what I call gamers. You can tell a lot from the high schools they came from. They're used to winning.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're used to winning. You can see it by the way they play. And again, although once in a while you do see kind of those rookie freshman mistakes when you kind of start throwing the ball in the double coverage, you can get away with it in high school. This level, not so much.
Yeah, and that's part of that maturation process.
Right.
I think both of them have run into that at some point during the year of just seeing the difference in the speed and the different looks and stuff like that. But you're exactly right. They're both competitors. Yeah. They're both winners. I think they both support each other really well, and that's what you want. Is you've got to be competitive, but you at the same time have to support your team, and they both do a great job.
All right. As far as the offense goes, our usual starters, right?
Yeah, usual starters. This team is going to present some issues because they like to bring a lot of pressure. They're a high pressure defense. I've known their defensive coordinator for a long time. He's been in the state of Illinois and been around for a long time, but he likes to bring pressure. They'll play a lot of man coverage, so it becomes you got to win those one-on-one battles, and that's what we've got to utilize different ways to get guys open, and they've got to be really good in their routes and make sure that they're getting the separation needed to help us move the ball, and then we've got to be able to run the ball.
Right, and my guess is you've been working an awful lot about getting the ball out of the quarterback's hand in under 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, that's obviously something that we want to do. Not every route's going to be short, because they start sitting on it and it becomes easy to cover. But just making sure that the quarterbacks know where their hots are, know where their where their outlets are, understanding where they've got best leverage and that kind of stuff. It becomes a little bit different of a read game for them. They've got to kind of go through a progression pre-snap. They don't do a lot. They'll play some zone, but they don't do a lot of different things in coverage. But they do bring a lot of blitzes, so it's going to put a little bit of pressure on the offensive line to make sure that they're secure picking that up.
All right, so the Spartans are going to be playing this Saturday night in Chicago at Roosevelt, and that game time is at 7 p.m., correct?
Yep, 7 p.m. up there at Roosevelt. Like you said, we've never played at Roosevelt, so it'll be a new experience for us, and it'll be fun to have a night game.
Absolutely. So Spartans, stay tuned. We'll certainly follow us on social media, and we'll get you all the links so you can watch the live stream live from Chicago. Coach, we want to wish you all the best. Spartan fans, you are amazing, and we want to thank you for watching it all right here on the Spartan Digital Network.